Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Akshat Bahety and in today's video I'm going to show you one of the most best kept secrets by Google, and this tool is going to blow your mind. If you haven't tested this out, you're missing out on some amazing fun. I'm talking about Google AI Studio. It's a tool which is technically created for developers but it's pretty cool to use even if you're not a developer. So I'm going to walk you around the whole tool and give you a couple of tips on how you can use it to make your AI journey better. So let's get started. First things, if you see here, very simply, it starts in a chat interface. It works normally like Gemini. So I can just ask it to do things here, right? Explain me LLMs, right? And I'm just going to enter that, control, enter. It's going to go ahead and create an answer. On the right hand, if you see here, there are some other stuff that is available. So you can click on this button here and you will see all these things. So for one of them is very simply, you can choose between different models. So you have 2.5 Pro, 2.5 Flash. You also have Nano Banana now. You can choose between those models and also the open source models that Google keeps creating and test them out here. Another option that you have is adding system instructions. So one thing that you don't get to do in ChatGPT or in Gemini also is you can't edit the system instructions which are set by Google. But here we can. We can, let's say, always reply in one sentence, right? In the same chat, because it has these system instructions, it will now technically should only reply in a single sentence. You can also change the temperature, which is how creative you want the response to be. So the more you increase it, the more creative the responses are, and the less it is, the less creative the responses are. These are for creating media. I'll show that to you in a second. But very simply, if you see here, we have got an answer. A large language model is an AI trained on vast amount of data in XYZ because it has this system prompt. So here you can do a bit more customization and try to do things. They also have a couple of tools which you can check out. So I'm just going to move myself to this side so you guys can see this. There are a couple of tools available here like structured output, code execution, and function calling. Again, cool things to try out if you want to, but it's like really AI chat interfaces on a steroid. Another cool trick that I really like using is this compare mode. Okay, so I can compare here between two different models. So what I can do is very simply select Flash and select, like, you can say image banana, nano banana, and I can say explain me LLM with images. Now both of them use a different option here, right? Flash will technically want to again just try to create something using image gen model, and here they will try to create using nano banana. It's really cool to compare different models, right? Because the point is you get an understanding of which is good and which is not, and what works for your particular use case. And that's why Google offers this for free, because you can compare which models you would like to keep from Google's perspective and which you won't. So if you see here, it has created images for us to help us understand training data and everything else. And let's see what does Gemini 2.5 Flash come with. I wasn't expecting it to use images and it did not. But yes, on the other hand, Nano Banana actually created images also and ensured that we have enough information. On the other hand, Nano Banana actually created images, and you can also see the settings, change settings if you want, completely up to you. Pretty cool tool to get started. But also there are a couple of new things that they have. So one is Stream. And Stream is probably one of the best things that I like. Is technically you can talk to, and if you remember, you can talk to Gemini. Okay, and I really like this. Okay, so I'm going to select on sharing screen, right? And I'm going to share my OBS Studio setup, right? Now it has access to everything, and you guys can see this on my screen, right? This is my setup. So I'm going to allow it to use my microphone. Okay, can you tell me what settings can I change on my studio to make it look better?
Okay, to make your studio look better, you can try
Adjusting the lighting to make it more even and reduce shadows. Also, consider decluttering the background to create a cleaner look. Adding some plants or artwork can also add a nice touch.
But how will I record all of that in again my webcam? Like my webcam is there, I'm using OBS Studio. I'm just talking about, do I need to change something in the OBS software, not on the studio? I don't want to change that.
I understand. In OBS, you can adjust the video settings to improve the quality. Go to Settings, then Video, and make sure the base and output resolutions are set to your desired high quality, like 1920 by 1080. You can also increase the bitrate in the
So you guys get the idea very simply. It's pretty cool. It can do a couple of things. It also has access to my screen right now. You still see it's actually hearing me here, right? Again, and all these things, like, just ignore them. These are just like my extensions. But this is like stream is live and everything else, and it can, like, you can talk to it with your real surroundings. And honestly, a better way to use this is on your phone. You can use with Gemini Live. It's really, really cool, the things that you can do with it. And I would just suggest, like, go ahead and test it out. You can share your whole screen, share your whole window, and get steps on setting something up. And you also have, like, a couple of other things which they have created. Let me just, like, start, click on new stream. So just come back and click new stream. You can see, like, it has a couple of options here to enable different audio, see if it can even change the emotions of the audio. It's really cool with the things that you can do. You also have different voices.
What kind of masterpiece are we aiming for?
Okay, so you have different voices and you can choose between them. It's really good. It only works, like, again, with a couple of models, so you can test them around. But just, like, that this exists is crazy. You can also share your webcam and do a couple of things. Let's come to the next option, is generating media. Now again, in Gemini there is always a limit on the stuff that you can create because of, like, it's a free tool and most people have access to it. Instead of that, you can come here and start with, like, the coolest tool ever, Nano Banana, right? So I'm going to click on try Nano Banana, right? And given that it's just a model, we're just going to say, like, generate a person sitting on the top of the moon looking down at Earth. Now, all of you guys know how good Nano Banana is, so I'm not going to, like, cover any particular part of this, but just the idea that, you can generate all of this here. Even if you hit limits in Gemini, I don't think anyone has written down hit any limits here, but you can do this, and, like, you can have this images created. Now again, super cool. You can obviously change the prompt a bit better and make it like 10 times better, but this exists. Another option that you have when you click on generate media is Gemini speech generation. So you can click on this, and here you can technically ask it to generate, like, audio and everything else. You can choose between different models, but let me just show you a quick example here. You just have, like, a script here, and you have, like, selected, and it's going to generate. It probably is going to take a couple of seconds.
Hey Assistant, how tall is the Empire State Building?
The Empire State Building is 1,454 feet, or about 443 meters tall.
So the point is here, like, you can add dialogues here. You can say, like, again, this is all bullshit. I don't know if this is going to cover it, but let's see. Again, I'm just going to click on run, and it should now generate that also. So you can create a podcast which is just written with 2 different voices, and you can probably, like, change it, make it a bit more creative. It's pretty cool. It's like, just a thing that exists. It's free. That's one of the biggest things with the AI Studio, that it's completely free.
Hey Assistant, how
How
tall?
tall is the Empire State Building?
The Empire State Building is 1,454 feet, or about
Okay, so I'm just going to play the last part out, right? Again, I think it started playing automatically. Just, like, let me just show you this.
meters tall.
This is all bullshit.
Right, as you can see, there is a bit of emotion there at the end, and that's pretty cool. And you can choose between different models and, like, try to do some cool stuff. Okay, coming back here, you can see, like, you have Veo. Obviously, you can generate videos right with here. Like, again, they don't allow Veo 3 right now because Veo 3 is super expensive. They allow Veo 2, so you can still use Veo 2 to generate stuff, and, like, choose a video vertical or format. You can choose the seconds, and, like, again, just use it to create. The limit is 10 generations. So again, like, again, you can describe a video. I can just, like, add an image also, but I'm just going to select, like, create a video of a person walking down a footpath in India, right? And I'm just going to click this and select it as vertical. I just want one result. I'm just going to press run, and in a second or so it will start generating the whole thing. Probably will take, like, a bit more than what I've expected, but till this is happening, I want you to show another, or probably one of my coolest and my favorite feature here, is the build mode. In this is like just an example of what I have been trying to create, is a comic strip builder, and I'm going to quickly show you, like, a quick example of how this works, right? So let me just upload one of my own photos, or, like, a photo of, like, actually I'm just going to upload one of my own photos. So this is my photo, right? I'm going to write Akshat, right? And I'm going to describe this as a comic as a person thinking about the world's largest problem. That's me when I'm sitting alone and just thinking about the world, right? Again, you can select which kind of, like, prompts are this. So you can select the genre. I'm going to just, like, slice of life. I'm going to keep it humorous, and we're going to select 6 panels and choose it to, like, pixel art, and let's see, like, and click on generate a script. Okay, one sec, and now I can click on generate a script. This is something as a software that I'm building within within AI Studio, and that is just crazy, right? Because it has an option called build, and I'm going to show that to you in a second. But as you can see, it created a video here, and honestly, like, this still looks so crazy to me. Like, I can't, like, if this shows up on my feed on Instagram or YouTube, I will not know the difference, and it's got too real. Okay, but leaving that aside, you come here to the build apps, and this is how we can create apps for our own use cases. I'll show that to you in a second. Let me just set this up. So it's going to start generating images, but here you can create any kind of app. And when I say that any kind of app, you should definitely try this out, because Lovable and everything else, you need to connect your API keys, you need to use something else. This is free of cost. You can build a complete app with the code, everything else, without doing anything. I'm going to create a very simple app with some AI features, which is going to be like a dead simple project management app. So create an app for project management in StarTech 3 with AI features to generate project tasks. Okay, so this is a very simple prompt. You have a couple of settings here. You can choose from, like, the model and everything else. Select the template, and you can also add files for reference. I'm just going to run this prompt. It's going to take the first 2 to 3 minutes to set this whole project up, but you can see it is automatically going ahead and, like, refining my prompt, because my prompt is pretty simple, right? And I want to see, like, how it creates in the Star Trek theme as a project management app. But here, if you see this app that I've created, is just like crazy good. Like, again, this helps me, like, create comic strips, right? Which I can, like, utilize for my own content utilization on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or something like that. But more than that, I can build small and mini apps like this a lot. And if you see here on the top right, just before I show you the output, you can deploy the app, you can share the app, and I can send this app to anyone, and you guys can use it in your own AI Studio. And you can even download the app and put it on GitHub. So completely up to you. You can see we can switch to API key if we start hitting limits, but it's pretty cool. Okay, this is me. It's supposed to be me technically. Something like this. Again, I think my prompt need to improve on what kind of, like, conversation comes here, right? Because, and the table got changed. I think, like, it was trying to clean it, and then again, like, sometimes the biggest problems are the ones we can fix ourselves. So yeah, like, again, all those cool things and XYZ, but the idea is, like, again, still, it probably just, like, made me think that the idea is that, and I can ask it to edit the image and everything else, but, like, I can ask it to edit. But given that it's a work in progress app, it exists, right? And you have all the information available here. That's pretty cool. So go ahead and test this out and try to build your own mini apps yourself. So let's see how our project management app is coming. I'm probably going to give it a second. Okay, it did come up with something. New mission is going to be AI video, right? And objective create videos. And I'm going to click on create. And as you can see, it has generate task, which is the coolest thing, right? I have not given it any API key. It has probably taken, like, just 91 seconds to create this. I'm going to click on generate. And as you can see, like, it has gone a bit more retro with the project management system, and that's fine. We did not give it a massive prompt, and it has automatically created, like, tasks for it without adding, like, the whole API key option and everything else. You can just add AI to it, like, as simple as that, by just telling it, like, I want AI features to generate project tasks. Even in this, I have not added any API key or such. I can switch to that. It just, like, generates images itself using Nano and comes back with it. Like, you can build small mini apps which you use on a daily basis, but I want to, let's say, like, just say modernize the app with new age UI from 3100. And now if I want to change something here, it's pretty cool. I can just add it here and, like, say, like, just change the UI and make it a bit more modern. And let's see what it does in a second. As you can see, it modernized the UI pretty quickly, and that's cool, right? We can initiate a new mission and, like, say test mission to Mars, engage, and generate tasks, and it will go ahead and generate tasks. It's very fast, like, it just took like 60 seconds, so like a minute to modernize the UI, which I think is super cool. And with that, like, you can save this app. So you can save the app. You can obviously deploy it if you want to. You can, like, deploy it on Google Cloud, and then you can also share this app with others to utilize it. But if you've got till here, I will say you know pretty much everything that there is to about AI Studio, right? Again, you have all the options here: chat, stream, generating media, and building stuff. You can also maintain your history. You have the dashboard if you want to check out some stuff. But pretty much that's it, right? Again, you can generate an API key, you can see like, your usage if you're doing that, and all the other cool things that come with it. Now, if you're watching till here, I have two more things to tell you. We have a beautiful AI community where you can learn a bit more about AI. If you're someone who wants to build a side hustle in AI and get started on your journey on bringing that, go ahead and check out the community. We are helping people get started on their AI journey. And if you really like the video, do me one favor, just hit that subscribe button and like and share the video. Helps me out a lot and it takes you a second. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one.